What's up, guys? I gotta make a video about this because if I don't, I'm gonna totally forget this concept. So, you guys know I struggle with social media. If you watched, if you know who I am, you know I struggle with social media. This angle is so bad. Get more light on my face. Okay, so if you know who I am, you know I struggle with social media. I would call it an addiction to some points. I don't use all the apps anymore, but Instagram, YouTube. Anyway, tonight's rabbit hole, it's 4 a.m. right now. Tonight's rabbit hole is this. I went and looked back. So back in 2018, I used to have an Instagram, an old Instagram, where my username was Finn_King1. Had this Instagram in high school for a few years, like 3 or 4 years, I don't know. And I went back, and before I deleted it in 2018. I had it deleted for like 8 months. Before I deleted it, I screenshotted all the pictures and images and some of the writing in the posts because I was like, oh, I don't want to forget this. But I don't really care about the Instagram. So I deleted the account, didn't have it for 8 months, whatever, rest is history, and then I got a new one. And today, I'm struggling with like, what kind of content do you leave online? Like, what's the point of uploading anything when people like don't remember anything about you except for how you make them feel? They remember like the feeling and emotion associated with you, and they remember like the action you take, but leaving behind like material items is useless. And I don't even know why I like go to the morbid thought of like, oh, what am I gonna leave behind? Like, what's my legacy? Like, what's my material thing that I leave behind in this world? But I think about that all the time, and I'm like, it just drives me fucking insane. But so I guess to the point that I like wanted to remember is that when I'm looking back at like my old posts from my old Instagram that I deleted that are like now totally gone. They're off the face of the earth. The only person who's getting any value out of them anymore is me. Like, and there was like 200 plus, posts of like pictures and writing and stuff like this and videos. And I'm like, now the only person who has the memories of those videos and pictures and stuff is me. I'm the only person. It's a single journey that I'm going on for myself of like sharing all this stuff and having access to it and seeing the shells that I've shed. Like, I'm looking at these pictures and stuff and I'm thinking, wow, like what a beautiful shell that I've like come out of 5 years later. From what I was posting back in 2014, 2015, 2016, like, wow, I've grown as a human being so fucking much. This is so cool. And that's like my own subjective individual journey. And that's great. So then it comes down to like, okay, so if I'm the only person who's observing, in this way, right? Like I'm observing in this way the shells that I'm shedding. Nobody else, like, people kind of see you change with them. But they kind of recognize you as like a sort of ambiguous energy source. Most people don't like deeply analyze people and how they grow and change. They'll notice like individual things like, oh wow, you've become more patient, or oh wow, like your physical appearance has changed, or something very like small changes, I guess. I don't think people really notice the major whole layers that get shed. I think that's an individual kind of experience. Except for people you're like really, really close to, of course. Then you'll have a similar experience with people that you've grown up with. And so the other point is like, what's the point of sharing anything? And I think that what I realized as a creator, like why I used to share stuff, is like I had an excess amount of like love and creation to like make, and I would like share stuff that was like on my mind because I was like, this is a cool thing. And I'm trying to translate it. I'm trying to figure out what my interpretation of the world is by creating things. And that's the point, right? That you're like, you have an overflow of energy and you share that overflow of energy to humanize your experience and to try and understand the experience better. Obviously, this is like really kind of cryptic and like confusing, but it's just all making sense in my head right now, and I don't know why at 4 fucking a.m. it decided to make sense in my head, but yeah. So like whatever you make, like have it be loaded with whatever energy you're trying to understand and demystify or crack the code on. Like as a creator, I think that's why I've made music, that's why I've like taken pictures, that's why I've made videos, is because I'm like, oh, there's this like raging river of emotion and like this balance between sanity and insanity that I like have to convey. And I've like tried to stop conveying it sometimes, and then other times it's just so fucking present. It's so present. It's like just just like that. Just goes crazy. And I can't stop it. And I think the point is like the thing that connects us all are these emotional realities. Like when we die, we are still connected by our emotional understanding of the world and of other people. I've experienced close death in my life to people that I love, and like I'm continually forever connected to those people by that emotional tie. Even people that are still alive, I'm connected to them by this emotional tie and my current emotional understanding of them and how they played a role in my life and my emotions. And like and it's not all about emotion, but like similar spiritual connections to the world. And it's just like we're all just existing in that state. It's like another plane almost. I know this sounds really like a baked thought, and I'm not high. I swear to God, I'm not high. I'm just like we're just energy. We're just energy, man. Everything is just energy. That's why like the material doesn't matter, because it's all, at the end of the day, it's all gone. It's like my first Instagram, all that material is gone. It's gone. I can still like feel the layers that I shed when I was those people. So the material things that are like those pictures and stuff, those are just like artifacts of like my old self that I grew out of. They're just artifacts. They're fossils. They're like digitized fossils of myself. But they're not like attached to my soul. And like the important parts of life are like the things that attach to soul. I don't know if I have anything else to say. This was a really long video, I'm sorry. But thank you for watching it. I hope this made sense and I didn't sound crazy, but I honestly don't care because it actually made a lot of sense to me. And probably like one person will watch this, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just a stream of consciousness. All right, I'm gonna hang up the phone.